Takes a lot for me to get in front of this camera. A lot of times I won't even post it. I just record it and never gets shown to anybody. Today I wanted to talk about like the reason to live. What does that mean? Like, what makes people want to live? And also the right to live in whatever the best way possible is. Whatever a human needs to live in the best way possible when it comes to just basic human rights, those shouldn't ever have to come into question. Those shouldn't, basic human rights, if you're just talking about the pursuit of happiness, that should never be blocked, and that's something that gets blocked every single day by people in this in the US. It gets hard when you don't have what you feel like you need. You don't have things that maybe you've had in the past, things that you've tried that are essential to your life. You can no longer grasp onto whatever it is, like, or whatever, all the things you need are. But, and then, life becomes really hard because you start depending on certain things that you need to have. Like, these are the essentials. You have to have this in order to be happy in life. And there's a lot of things with all types of cultures that people need, and a lot of those things are security, and a ton of security isn't necessarily physical. I mean, it is when you want a roof over your head and stuff, but that's all you want is a roof and you feel safe. But it comes to this psychological point where if you don't have as much control as you thought you had, or maybe you lost control of certain things in your life, like you no longer have control over that. It's not up to you to decide anymore, because you have certain labels placed upon you already. So when you get to these points in life, you don't think life is really that worth living. You have people shaming you from all sides. You have people labeling you from all sides. And it's crazy that every side is better than you. But when you're talking like philosophically, if you're talking morals, if you're talking about like how people should be treated, people don't even understand what you're saying. All they understand is law. All they understand is do whatever the person ahead of them did. That's it. That's all people know. You got people freaking walking along in life like that. Then when you're trying to go against the grain, when you're trying to just say, nah, I'm gonna live for me, I'm gonna do what I want to do, they don't question why the laws are wrong. They just say, why is he doing that? And then you have different levels of that everywhere. You have freaking professionals, you have doctors, you have lawyers, you have freaking politicians, people in high standing positions that get paid a lot of money to just fucking trample on your fucking dreams and say you're worthless, you ain't shit. But they don't say it like that. They just say shit like, oh, well, I don't think it would be safe for you, or maybe that medication would interact with this part of your life. And they're always trying to describe it in some way where they don't have to give it to you, but it doesn't look like it's their fault. Who would ever argue that people should, you gotta earn your AIDS pills. You gotta earn them. You gotta be a good person. You know, if you fuck up, you're gonna get canceled. And you're not gonna get no fucking pills. Who in their right mind would say that about, you know, people needing AIDS medication or cancer? You know, like, who would say, yeah, you gotta earn your chemo? Or who would fucking, right when you're having a heart attack, they're asking you, are you a rapist? Are you a child molester? Doctors are just supposed to save that person, even if they're pieces of shit. That's what this whole oath is that these people make. But then when you get into the family medicine side of treatment, they fucking shit all over your dreams. They try to get you to tell the truth about yourself, but then they picture you in a whole nother way that you kind of describe yourself as being in a better position in life, but you need certain fucking essentials. Their notes trump everything. And these are naive people that just copy and just try to follow the law. They don't ever ask. And these are people that just have guidelines. Doctors don't even really have laws. They just have guidelines. But nobody ever questions to give somebody chemo to be happy if they, or to live, or AIDS if they want to live. But nobody ever thinks about mental medication. Not always. They might think, oh, they need that antidepressant. But they'll never think they need that Ritalin. They'll never think they need that heroin. They need that ketamine. They need MDMA. They need LSD. Like, people, it's so fucking far from their brains to even think like that, because it's been years and years and years of fucking government programming. 100%. They fucking tested on this on society and then blamed it on the hippies because the hippies were against the war. So yeah, you got to make the hippies look like a bad guy, you know? And that just stuck with culture. And through that bullshit, they fucking got the scheduling system passed. They got all these, you know, all this shit outlawing and all this, oh, you're going to get fucking 10 years in jail for this. They give it to you and then they turn around and arrest you for giving it to you. Say that's against the law. These fucking hypocrites do the shit themselves too. And then you got other people that, you know, you just got people that need to function. You know, they need certain medication. I don't give a fuck what the shit is. If it's fucking meth, if it's heroin, if it's crack. People should be able to choose to have whatever the fuck they need as essential in their life. And they're afforded most choices. And then it comes to your health. And your health is everything that's connected to your happiness. Everything that's connected to you in happiness in life is good health. And then they just fucking shit on your dreams. With me, it's like I got a fuck ton of anxiety. And I have a fuck ton of ADHD. And I was in the top 5% of all walkers on an entire app. And if I would have had my phone the whole time, I would have been the top 2%. Maybe the fucking top 1. They don't treat me. They won't treat me. People fucking try to say, oh, well, just fucking, just grow up. Just man up. Just fucking man up. Like I ain't some fucking man. for saying, hey, motherfucker, I need this shit to survive. Like what? So am I gonna say you're not a man if I want to take your fucking house? Well, you're a man, so man up. When pieces of shit get in your way like that, and there ain't jack shit you can do right there on the spot, because these punks are behind phones, they think they're more successful than you, that they're worth more than you. These are fucking healthcare professionals, and they'll never admit it. They'll fucking never admit it, but they'll always treat you like it. But then, with me, I'm an investigative. No, I'm gonna fucking investigate that bitch. I'm gonna get dirt on this motherfucker. Because this motherfucker's in the way of me, my happiness, my success, my fucking well-being, of my fucking mental stability, of my motivation. That's what you're getting in the way of. Refusing me to treat me. That's okay though. That's decent behavior, right? Because I went to the bosses. The bosses don't give a fuck either. The CEO's assistant. So the assistant is gonna tell the CEO. That fucking assistant just left, and nothing ever happened with the investigation. This is what I've been going through for a fucking year now. It's taken me a long time to try to even post something. I feel like I can say a lot of shit. And I know I look like shit because I always pace and I never go outside. I need people to fucking see if this is a valid argument. Like, am I fucking crazy for asking this shit? Am I crazy to argue about certain drugs being just as worthy as other drugs? And that's why I have to post it, because I don't have anybody in my life that I can actually ask and they'll say some real shit. So, thanks for listening, and I'll be sure to cut the shit out of this. It's two separate things. You have all these stupid ass laws made, and you make certain drugs illegal that are therapeutic. And then on the other side of that, when you need to get help, it's almost impossible to get decent help that is not biased, that's not biased against people being able to make their own choices, especially if you're labeled an addict. If you're labeled an addict, you're fucked. And these types of things are what's fucking ruined my life. Being labeled a felon, being labeled an addict, just being labeled as worthless. Those types of things held me back. Labels are what has held me back. People putting labels on medications and who deserves certain medications, instead of, does the medication fit the person's need? Does the person seem happier if they were to have that? Labeled an addict. This is where this is though. I don't know about if you're just considered a normal person, because even normal people get screwed over. They go to the emergency room and they get hit with drug seeking. And they're just trying to get help. Like, oh, well, I broke my fucking arm. I didn't know I did all that shit for Percocet. Like, they'll go to the stupidest extremes on normal people too. But with addicts, I didn't even know that I had a choice. I didn't even know I was allowed to choose my treatment, to choose medications. I've never known that shit. No matter how smart people think I am, I didn't know that for a long time. The first time I was asked something kind of like that was in July of this year, and I thought it was a trick question. Like, they're just trying to get me to admit some shit. Oh, I admit I just want a specific drug or something. I was just there for anxiety treatment though. But everybody knows what the fuck drugs people want if they have anxiety. Then you force us to go to the streets. Then you fucking label us criminals. Then you label us fucking worthless. Then you fucking say you'll build us back up and we can evolve. The doctors will do that shit too. Like, they'll say, yeah, well, you could go to therapy. Just go to therapy and you could get better for your PTSD and your anxiety and your panic attacks. At the same time, they don't think that you could get better from drug addiction. Ever. You can never, ever evolve from that. Even if you were just functioning on shit. The DSM, it states that you could be labeled a drug addict just trying to drug one. That was at least in the DSM-5. I don't know if they're like on 6 or 7, but just trying to drug once, you could be fucking labeled a drug addict. So doctors are set up with these loopholes to just not treat people. Dumb shit. And they'll pull stupid shit like that too. And then, I start catching on like, oh, this shit is crazy discrimination. So I start recording every single one of my phone calls that I have, every one of my appointments. And I'm building a fucking crazy ass case. I have these people admitting that they've punished me, straight up saying that it's my fault. So they haven't been treating me and that's my fault. Saying a sentence like that, you're basically saying because of your actions, we've decided to punish you because they're not treating me. So what is that? That's punishment, right? Dead to right saying that shit. Getting a lawsuit together, it's fucking difficult. And these doctors just attack and attack. When they feel under attack, for once they're fucking challenged in their lives, these people with unlimited amounts of power over my fucking life, because health is your number one priority. When they attack me and they fucking discriminate against me time and time and time again, they just expect me to just be cool with that always. And for once they're fucking stood up against, they don't like that shit at all. They sent my ass to a fucking mental facility for over a week. I fucking lost it, because I'm not crazy. But being around people that are crazy drives you crazy. Because they're punching the walls and they're fucking screaming just nonstop. They're just yelling at the craziest shit. So even in fucking prison and in jail, it's not like that, because at least there's respect to a certain extent and there's control over like mental health situations like that. That on discrimination. I told them never have a meeting without my consent again or my knowledge. I told them that January 5th, 2020 or 2021. They had a meeting like 2 weeks later about me. Like, never notified. I'm asking direct orders, and I would say stuff like, you two can never speak without me. Like a superior, 2 doctors that can be biased and hurt my treatment. I don't ever want to have them have a meeting without me. Like certain doctors. And they'll do that. They'll still do it. Like they don't care at all. I have a huge lawsuit. I contacted lawyers, none of them called me back. Not a single fucking one wanted to take the case. And it's like, you know how much fucking evidence I have? Like, this should be a home run for malpractice. These people have tortured me.